Why don't communities get involved? Why do they not stand up to gangs and guns and particularly drug peddlers in their communities? Well, they have the real risk of actually being targeted. And that's what happened on Tuesday night when three young men, activists in their community of Mfuleni, they had apparently confronted a drug dealer's home. They had asked them to move on, to get out of the area, to stop peddling drugs. And then on Tuesday night, ruthlessly gunned down. It shows that it's not as easy as simply to go knock on the door and say, we know what you are doing, please leave. But Lubabalo Feketsha, Lulamo and Luyanda Mtsila, there were three members of a ward committee in Mfuleni. They went up to a drug dealer, gangsters in the area, said, please leave. You're not welcome here. And you know what happened? They were then shot. They were killed. And that is the lived reality of people on the Cape Flats. It's simply not, if you see something, do something. You have to live with the reality as well. And unfortunately, we reached a case where gang members are targeting people in their own communities.
On behalf of the Mfuleni CPF, I would just like to say that we are very saddened because these were three gentlemen that was very active in their communities, and they were doing the right thing by addressing the scourge of drugs. And unfortunately, these cowards retaliated by attacking these men where they lived.
Talk to us about what led to the demolishing of this house that was suspected to be some drug den in Mfuleni.
Let me also clearly illustrate this was not the action of three isolated men. This was a community action. The community addressed this residents as the community was upset by the situation. It was not the action of three men acting against drug dealers. It was community action, and unfortunately these people chose these or isolated these three people to retaliate against.
So community knows largely who was in, who occupied that building, but as of yet, no police arrests.
Unfortunately, it was not a building. It was an informal structure, so it's difficult to trace who the actual building belongs to. And the investigation is ongoing. And as soon as they've identified the suspects, they will surely make an arrest.
Washief, in February this year, when releasing the quarterly crime stats, the police minister, Fatyela, said that Mfuleni was the least safe place in the country during the third quarter of 2022-2023. Has that changed at all? Where is policing, where is community safety currently in Mfuleni?
Subsequent to that, there was a few interventions by South African police and also the community police forum, and the murder rate came down significantly. Unfortunately, in the last few weeks, that has jumped back up again.
What does this particular incident say about communities standing up and communities confronting gangs and drug dealers within their communities? We've had incidences where, for example, Pagat have said that they will continue and they'll continue to mobilize in confronting gangs and guns in our communities by going to the doorsteps of suspected gang members and drug dealers. Just what are your thoughts if we have a case of retaliatory acts, where in this case, three men involved in the demolition of an informal shack believed to be a place where drugs were sold from, and at the end of the day, suspected gangsters take revenge and kill them? Where do you see communities taking action, or should they take action? But police don't seem to be doing their bit. Washief?
Unfortunately, I have to slightly disagree. The police are doing their bit. The place where we are being failed is the courts. A suspect gets identified and arrested, and 2 days later is back on the streets. A person commits multiple murders, like in this case, and 5 days later is out on 5,000 rand bail. this is what endangers the community. There's no repercussions for crime. Even if you are convicted, there's no repercussions for crime.
Well, Washief Volkwyn is the spokesperson for the Mfuleni Community Policing Forum. Really appreciate your time.